Frostbite Engine. This one was never meant to be a general-purpose tool. Frostbite was born inside DICE in 2008 to power Battlefield Bad Company, and it was designed for one thing: war on a massive scale. The first version stunned players with destructible environments. Entire walls and buildings could collapse under fire, changing the map as the battle went on. Before Frostbite, shooters had static backdrops. This engine made destruction part of the gameplay. Suddenly, nowhere felt safe. If an enemy hid behind cover, you didn't flank them. You blew the cover apart. Frostbite 2 came in 2011 with Battlefield 3, pushing cinematic visuals and large-scale multiplayer. Explosions lit up city skylines, jets roared overhead, and the sound system recreated chaos in a way that felt closer to a war documentary than a video game. This wasn't just a shooter anymore. It was a technical showcase that made other studios scramble to catch up. EA noticed. Instead of keeping Frostbite just for DICE, they rolled it out across the company. Games like Need for Speed, Rivals, FIFA, and Mass Effect, Andromeda all ran on Frostbite. The results were mixed. In shooters and racing games, Frostbite's high-fidelity physics and visuals thrived. But for RPGs and sports, developers struggled. The same destruction tech that made Battlefield legendary wasn't built for branching storylines or complex AI, and some projects paid the price with rough launches. Still, Frostbite 3 and beyond have powered some of EA's biggest blockbusters: Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Massive maps, dynamic weather, volumetric lighting. It's the engine that can turn a battlefield into a living, breathing ecosystem of chaos. And with continuous internal updates, Frostbite remains EA's weapon of choice for showing off scale and spectacle. What makes Frostbite legendary isn't its flexibility, it's its specialization. When used in the right hands, it delivers destruction, immersion, and scale that few engines can match. It's proof that sometimes an engine doesn't have to be for everyone to change how entire genres evolve.
Fox Engine. Konami unveiled Fox Engine in 2011, and right from the start, it felt like a statement. They wanted technology that could rival Unreal and CryEngine, but tailored to their own projects. Its big public showcase came with Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes in 2014, followed by The Phantom Pain in 2015, and that's when the engine cemented its legend. What made Fox Engine remarkable wasn't raw spectacle, but balance. It could handle massive open-world environments without crushing performance, while still delivering lifelike character models, advanced lighting, and subtle animations. In MGS5, the smallest details stood out: soldiers' flashlights cutting through the fog, raindrops sliding off Snake's sneaking suit, or the seamless day-night cycle that changed how you approached a mission. Everything felt fluid, as if the game never had to pause to load. But Fox Engine wasn't just about visuals. It was built for precision. Enemy AI reacted dynamically, adjusting patrols and strategies when players exploited the same tricks too often. Even the physics of vehicles and ragdolls carried a weight that grounded the experience in realism without breaking the fun. Konami also used Fox Engine beyond Metal Gear. Pro Evolution Soccer adopted it, bringing more natural player movements and stadium lighting that rivaled television broadcasts. For a sports franchise competing against FIFA, this engine gave PES a visual edge it had long been chasing. Yet despite its technical brilliance, Fox Engine's story is bittersweet. After Hideo Kojima's messy split with Konami, the engine lost its biggest champion. Konami scaled back its use, limiting it mainly to PES and internal projects. In a way, the engine became a ghost, highly advanced, proven to work, but underutilized after the departure of the team that pushed it hardest. Even today, fans of Metal Gear Solid 5 point to Fox Engine as ahead of its time, a tool that made stealth gameplay more immersive than ever. Its legacy lives on not because it spawned countless games, but because in the titles it touched, it showed how much elegance and efficiency a custom engine could bring to modern gaming.
Engine. Capcom surprised everyone in 2017 when they revealed Resident Evil 7 was powered by something brand new: Engine. The name literally stood for Reach for the Moon, but fans just called it the Resident Evil engine. From that first reveal, it was clear Capcom had struck gold. Engine specialized in photorealism without sacrificing performance. In Resident Evil 7, the creak of old wooden floors, the texture of peeling wallpaper, the way a flashlight beam scattered across dust, it all felt disturbingly real. Horror thrived on that detail, and suddenly the series was terrifying again. Not through cheap jump scares, but through atmosphere you could almost smell. But Engine didn't stop at one franchise. Capcom rebuilt their biggest classics with it. Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 4 Remake all ran on RE, each pushing fidelity fidelity further while keeping silky frame rates across consoles and PC. Devil May Cry 5 proved the engine could handle fast, stylish combat, rendering demon battles at blazing speed with zero compromise on detail. Then came Monster Hunter Rise. Huge maps, swarms of creatures, online co-op. The engine adapted effortlessly. By then, it was obvious Capcom had created something versatile, not a one-trick tool for horror. One secret weapon was efficiency. RE Engine didn't demand monstrous hardware. It ran beautifully even on mid-tier systems, which meant games could launch on multiple platforms, including the Nintendo Switch, without feeling watered down. That cross-platform flexibility gave Capcom a huge advantage in the 2020s, letting them push blockbuster visuals while still selling to a broad audience. Today, RE Engine is Capcom's backbone. Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Street Fighter 6, they all share this DNA. The company even restructured its development pipeline around it, so every major team can work faster, share assets, and push updates more smoothly. What makes RE Engine legendary is simple. It saved Capcom's biggest franchises, gave them a unified foundation, and reminded the industry that an in-house engine can still compete with Unreal or Unity. For Capcom, RE didn't just stand for Reach for the Moon, it became the launchpad for their revival.
IW Engine. Infinity Ward's IW Engine is the beating heart of Call of Duty. It began in 2005 with Call of Duty 2, but here's the catch. It wasn't built entirely from scratch. The early versions were heavily modified from ID Tech 3, the same foundation used in Quake 3 Arena. Infinity Ward kept layering upgrades until the engine took on its own identity, becoming the silent powerhouse behind one of the most profitable franchises in gaming. What set IW Engine apart wasn't flashy gimmicks. It was refinement. Every new Call of Duty squeezed more out of the tech, smoother animations, smarter AI, tighter controls, and above all, silky frame rates that made the gunplay feel addictively precise. For players, it meant one thing. Call of Duty just felt better to play than almost any other shooter. The responsiveness of aiming, the snap of recoil, the instant hit detection, those weren't accidents. They were the product of Infinity Ward obsessively tuning the engine for competitive play. Through the years, IW Engine evolved like a chameleon. Modern Warfare 2, 2009, expanded scale with cinematic set pieces. Modern Warfare 3 pushed online infrastructure to handle millions of players at once. Ghosts introduced more destructible environments. Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare layered on futuristic mobility. Each iteration wasn't about reinventing the wheel, but polishing it until it rolled smoother than ever. Then in 2019, Infinity Ward unveiled a fully overhauled version for Modern Warfare, and this time, it was a giant leap. They rebuilt lighting with photogrammetry, added volumetric effects, and introduced a new physics system that made weapons and environments react in lifelike ways. Suddenly, Call of Duty looked and sounded grittier, more grounded, without losing its signature speed. By the time Warzone launched, IW Engine was carrying something bigger than yearly campaigns. It was supporting one of the most played live service shooters in the world. That scalability proved its endurance. What makes IW Engine legendary isn't that it pioneered brand new tech, it's that it mastered the art of evolution. Year after year, console after console, it delivered a level of consistency and feel that turned Call of Duty into a cultural juggernaut. In an industry full of engines chasing graphical revolutions, IW quietly became the definition of reliability and control. Done watching? If you like this video, hit subscribe for more cool stuff.